My man Ken say to the left, to the left. Everything he owns is in the box to the left. Okay, Ken is not playing with you, Trish. Ken said it is already packed and ready to go. Ken don't give a damn if he left a pack of Tic Tacs over there, baby. It is packed and it is coming with me. Okay, let's get to it. Welcome back. This is Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 10, Episode 8, Humpsville, Alabama. If you are not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on your notifications. I have been consistent, y'all. I have been uploading, so you don't want to miss out. But let's just get right to it. We start off the episode with Martell. He invited over Chris Fletcher. They're doing some measurements. Chris comes over ready. Chris is the type of friend I want to have. If I tell you I'm doing some measurements around the house, come ready and prepared. He had his tape measure already ready to go. That's what I'm talking about, Chris. But Chris starts off by saying, look, you and Marceau need to squash whatever y'all got going on. Y'all been going back and forth for like the past 7 years since I've known y'all, since the show has started. And he said the other day y'all was acting like two big bitches. And no shade, I guess this is actually a little shade, but Chris, you ain't in no position to be calling nobody no big bitch, because the way you was acting at Trisha's party, the way Maurice and Marceau had you running across the room, and then Tisha came over there and was all up in your face. Not that you're supposed to do nothing to Tisha, because Tisha a woman, but still. Everybody had you running. They had you scrambling at that party, trying to backtrack and take back your words. So let's not do that. But anyway, they get into talking about the whole situation with Marceau, and we know how that went. It didn't go good. He wants them to patch things up so they can move on and stop talking about the same old things. And then he confirms Martell that Arion is his woman. He said, I want Marceau to stop talking about Arion. That's what apparently set him over the edge. So, you don't say. And then Chris's mouth drops when he finds out that they're not staging. They're getting the space ready for Arion and the kids to come live. And he says, you inviting her over here to live, but you not finna marry her? Like, you acting like Ken. He said, you'd have been hanging out with Ken too long. He got you acting like him and Trish now. So that was funny. He kind of redeemed himself with that line. I did laugh at that. All right, y'all. Next up, we got Ken. And Ken's face, it is written all over your face. But he is sitting down with my boy Will. They're having a discussion about Trish. So apparently, Ken has a podcast, and they were over there with their shirts off. I'm just seeing chest muscles and abs, and the bodies is all oiled up. I'm like, oh, what's going on over here? I might need to tune into that podcast. Somebody put in the comments what Ken's podcast is, because I was like, okay. I didn't know that's what they was doing on the podcast these days. I ain't gonna lie. It kind of looked like the intro to like a porno, because I'm just like, you got this man over here laying down. You got this man hovering over him with his chest and his shirt all off. I'm like, where is y'all clothes? But let me get my mind out the gutter. Let's move on. Okay, so they got their chest muscles out and they flexing and they doing their thing, and then Trish just comes sauntering across the room. No hey, no how y'all doing, no cut. She don't say hi to the camera, nothing. Just rude as hell, just sauntering in front of it when she see they clearly trying to work out and film their podcast. And so Ken was mad, and Ken like, I know you ain't finna walk out this house without giving me no damn kiss. And I'm just like, well, damn, is that supposed to make me want to kiss you? I'm not turned on. That ain't sexy. Don't be yelling at me to kiss you like that. Damn. Sheesh, Ken. That's what she be talking about with that frustration. But let me not jump too far ahead. So Ken is mad that Trish sauntered in front of the camera and didn't say hi to the fellas. this is kind of anticlimactic. I know this is a reality show and this is supposed to be based on real life, so I don't want to, make it seem like, oh, this is just about our entertainment, but it's like we've been along this ride with y'all this whole time. So you mean to tell me after all of this arguing and bickering back and forth every damn episode, after all of these lies, after this whole blow up with Marquez and you about to rip Marquez's head off, after all of this Martell lie with her training him and going to his house, this is the straw that broke the camel's back? Really, Ken? You've been waiting for a reason to get out of this relationship. Because let me tell y'all Ken's problem. Ken strikes me as the type of person that just lets stuff build up and build up and build up until he is headed up to here and can't take it anymore. And then it just all comes out in this negative, toxic way. And he just blows up and goes crazy because Ken a big dude. So, his level, he probably on level 5 out of 10. But to everybody else, it looked like he on level 12 because Ken like this. So, Ken, you can't be doing that. You too big to be holding stuff in until you blow up. We got to get that out of you before we get there because at that point, it's a little scary. I'm sure, especially for a woman. Now, Trish could probably body slam Ken too. Don't sleep on Trish, but, Ken a big dude. So, I need you to work on that, Ken. Okay? Because you quick to talk about how Trish needs some healing and needs some therapy, but you need some too. Because that's not healthy to hold stuff in until you blow up. That's how resentment builds. And that's clearly what we're dealing with now. Because you can't tell me we done went through all of this just for it to end up like this over what? Trish walking in front of the camera and not saying hey to everybody? Like, she probably like, it's just Will. They over here every other day. Like, that's your boy. Hey, like, get yourself at home. Like, you probably over there all the time. So to her, she probably didn't even think of it no type of way. And you filming your podcast. I don't know if Trish even saw the camera or made point of that. Made a point that she was walking in front of it or, it didn't strike me as that big of a deal. So, yeah, it just gives me that you have clearly been building up resentment, holding this in, and that annoyed you, and this was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. So, that's very unfortunate. And another thing I want to point out, Ken is always so quick to talk about what he does, what he provides, and he says his issue with her is the fact that every time she gets mad, she tells him he could leave. But he's like, oh, when I leave, that means everything else comes with me. When you break up or you split up or one party leaves, that means you divide the assets and you leave with what you came with. So I done provided for everything. I done did everything. All of this stuff is mine. So it's all coming with me. So I hope that she knows that that's what that means as well. That's a reoccurring theme that I've noticed when it comes to Ken. Ken is quick to remind us of all that he does, all that he buys, all that he contributes. Even when it came to him speaking with Marquez, I'm not your kid's father, but I do this, I do that for them, I provide this, so that's something I noticed. And for me, I have to then ask, well, is that something you genuinely want to do? Or are you doing it because you want something in exchange? Are you doing it because you feel like if you buy all these things, if you do all these things, then maybe Trish will finally respect you? Or she'll see you as a provider? Or she'll take you seriously? Maybe she'll finally open up and show you some affection if you get her that new Ferrari or you buy her son a car. That's what it's giving. It's giving that you don't genuinely want to do this out of your heart. You're doing it in exchange for something in return. And that exchange doesn't always have to be something monetary in return, but it's like you're doing it to try to buy Trisha's love or Trisha's affection. And that's why you're always so quick to take it back. Now, a car or something, yeah, I understand. But certain things, it's like, if I bought it for you, I don't even want it back. I don't even care. Like, I gave it to you. Do with it what you will. I don't care if you even throw it away. I gave it to you. It's a gift. It's given to me. That is something that will remind me of you, or it's a tie that we have together. So I don't even want it back. Take it. Now, like I said, a car, some of them expensive gifts and stuff that he got, okay. But all that other stuff, do with it what you will. So, yeah, that's definitely something I picked up on with Ken. You never want to be the person that buys people things or does things it's not because you want to do it, because all you're going to end up doing is building resentment. And that's exactly where we are at. So, yeah, Will ask the questions that need to be answered. He says, has her mood changed or been different? Like, are you noticing something going on? Because the thing is, and where I think he was getting at with this question, is this didn't happen overnight. This is the same Trish that we've seen since she graced our TV screens. Nothing has changed. Trish is the same liar. Trish still needs healing. Trish still has trust issues. Trish still needs therapy. Like, we've been saying this for, over a year now? So it's not like you woke up and she was just a different person. And that's the whole problem I had with this conversation. There was no accountability on Ken's part. Everything was about Trish, what she did, what she needs, how broken she is, what I do for her, what I do for her kids. You also have to take some accountability because you've been enabling this situation from the get-go. Everybody has been sitting here telling you, look, this is what it is. This is what we see it from the outside looking in. And clearly we all have been correct. And I don't know if you just now seeing it, you just now waking up, you just now having your coming to Jesus moment, but that's not Trisha's fault because technically, that part, Trish has faults, but that part is not her fault. The way you're making it come off, like I said, it's like it just happened overnight and she just changed. Like when you met her or a couple weeks ago, things were good and now all of a sudden it's this. No. So that's where you have to take accountability. You enabled all of these things. So to wake up today and want to do a 180 and want things to just change and be perfect and you need to go to therapy tomorrow and you need to do this and do that, that's not practical. These are things you should have been saying. Now, if you had better communication and if you didn't hold everything in and allow this to fester and build up, maybe Trish could have been in therapy by now. Maybe y'all would have been further along. Maybe it would have never gotten to this point. Maybe you wouldn't have even gotten to that altercation with Marquez. If you would have nipped that in the bud from the beginning, it would have never got to the point where Marquez would have felt comfortable to just bust in your house. Mind you, it's a show, so I'm sure he put on a little bit for the show, but I'm just saying, like, if you would have called these things out from the get-go and said, this is how I really feel and how it's really bothering me and I'm serious, like, I will leave or I will do what I have to do, if it doesn't get better or if I don't see a change, then maybe we wouldn't be where we're at now. But no, because you sat back and then you wanted to call everybody crazy when they were giving you their input and giving you their advice and whatnot. You wanted to make it seem like everybody else was tripping and all y'all marriages is, effed up. So I don't need none of y'all input. Me and Trish is just fine. And we over here, living life and got our Ferraris and got our gyms and got our abs and our muscles. Maybe you wouldn't be going through all this hell that you're going through now. So you got to take some accountability on your end too, Ken. It can't just all be Trish. It takes two. All right, so we are going to get Trisha's side of things. Trisha's sitting down with her girl Sharon, and she's meeting up with Destiny. Destiny starts off by apologizing for missing Trisha's birthday party, which, Destiny, you need to be apologizing to us as well because you all up in this intro, but girl, we're at the mid-season finale, and I be forgetting you even on this show. Anyway, let's move on. She does say that she has a gift. So all is forgiven if it's going to be a good one. Make sure it's a good one. Make it count. Don't be having no BS up in there, Destiny. But yeah, Destiny didn't know what she was getting into when she had this conversation because she was completely caught off guard by the fact that Trish brought up this situation with Ken. Actually, Sharon was the one who brought it up because she said, I want to know what's going on with this Ken situation. And Destiny said, what you mean? What you talking about? And Trish just over there just stuttering, just fumbling her words, just couldn't even get it out. But she does eventually admit that her and Ken are on a break. And Destiny is me. She said, I'm gonna need a glass of wine. That is so me. Like, I'm finna listen, but I don't know if I'm gonna believe everything she tell me. You know, you gotta listen carefully when you listen to how these stories go, because it'd be one way in her head and then the truth be a completely different thing. So she kind of clocked her with that situation. But Trish explains everything that happened with the podcast and her walking through the shot and not saying cut or not saying hi or anything to the fellas. And she says, Ken gets mad and says, well, you could give me all my stuff back. And she said her son Xavier came running down and said, here, well, shit, take it back. Here go your car keys. Take it back then. He threw his car keys at Ken. Because apparently Ken bought him a car. Shoot, I wish my stepdad would have bought me a car. But yeah, Ken, she said he was mad. Ken want to frame himself like he's this sweet, innocent guy. And I'm not so sure about that, Ken. You seem like you got a little bit of anger built up in you. I don't know if it's a little bit of roid rage or something. I don't know if you need to lay off the weights a little bit. All that muscle and stuff got you a little angry. But no, on a serious note, I think it's just because, like I said earlier, Ken is the type that holds stuff in until he blows up. So he really has to work on that because that's not good. And you have even Destiny pointed out that she doesn't like how frustrated Ken can get and the way that he deals with his frustration. And we've seen Ken angry on this show before. So this clearly is a thing. So Ken, you're not completely innocent in this matter. Just like I said earlier, clearly there are some things that you need to work on and take accountability for as well. And Destiny and Trish were giving her some really, really good advice. I loved this whole scene with them because you can tell that they really want this to work. And they keep bringing up that y'all have to want it and y'all have to be willing to put in the work and you have to want it to work. And when they asked her if she wanted to work and if she willing to put in the effort, she kind of was like, yeah. And they like, that didn't sound too convincing. And she just sitting there forking her food like, yeah, yeah, I love him. I guess I want this to work. Trish, do you? Cause I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. Trish, I don't feel like she wants to be in a relationship right now. And Ken, I feel like he want to be laid up, cuddling, Netflix and chill. Like Ken trying to be laid up, Ken trying to get a wife, Ken trying to have some babies. And I feel like Trish is just trying to chill. Trish trying to focus on her career, go to the gym, and come home and chill. Like, Trish don't give me that she really want a man and she trying to do the whole laid up thing. And Trish doesn't give me like, I don't know. I don't want to say she don't give, Trish doesn't give me soft feminine energy. And I mean that in the kindest way. I don't want to be offensive to anybody, but I just got to keep it real. Ken looking for somebody to cuddle with, somebody to cook him a meal, somebody to call him babe and give him little googly eyes and, oh, I love you so much. And just feel his little pecs and rub all on him and give him massages and get his bottle ready, his water bottle ready for the gym and fix his protein powder and feed him like a protein bar or something. And Trish don't give that. Trish she be chilling. Trish ain't finna sit and do all that with you. Trish doesn't give me, I want to cuddle and, oh babe, and you're my king, and I love you so much. Mwah. Trish do not give me that energy at all. So I don't think these two are compatible. And it makes me wonder, how did y'all even get together? I feel like y'all just have the working out in common. And maybe because he hasn't run into a lot of people or a lot of women particularly that he has that in common with. Maybe he hasn't come across a lot of women that are into like the weightlifting and the bodybuilding and the gym and all of that. So I feel like maybe that's what brought them together, having that commonality and sharing that passion and that love for fitness and working out and that whole lifestyle, and having somebody that understands that. Because if you're really into the gym, it can be hard for somebody that's not into that. They trying to go to Wendy's and go to McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, and you trying to eat how you eat. So to you, that might be a turnoff. Or you always at the gym, you spending hours he said he go to the gym twice a day. So you're spending a large amount of time at the gym. To the average woman, to her, she might feel like, I want some of your time too. You cheating on me with the gym. You at the gym all damn day. Or you out with the fellas lifting and bench pressing all day. Where do I fit in? So I feel like maybe with Trish, she understood and they were able to go and do that together. So maybe that's how they bonded. But it doesn't seem like they really have anything else in common outside of that. So I feel like that's where also some of that resentment is coming from, because it can hurt to feel like you may have so much in common with somebody and then later down the road discover, well, maybe it was just that one thing and we don't quite have so much in common after all. Especially after you already planted all of these eggs in that basket. And Kendon put all of his eggs in this basket. So yeah, I think I'm on to something with that. Yeah, that's what I'm picking up on. And Destiny says you can't match energy, you have to communicate, which was also some good advice, because Trish says that she gets mad right along with him. And before you know it, they're both going back and forth. And that's something that she brought from her previous relationship or marriage with Marquez. She would stoop down to his level, go back and forth. And Ken even said, I have to be the bigger person and just say, hey, let's sit down and let's talk this out. Let's work this out. Let's stop fussing and fighting. So Trish, you got to be willing to communicate and work on things too. You can't just match that energy and nothing's going to get accomplished if y'all are standing there just fussing and fighting all the time. So yeah, I don't think it's going to work. I don't. I think both of y'all have some work to do. And to be honest, I really don't think either of y'all are compatible. I think y'all should have been friends. Which y'all probably maybe started off as friends and jumped the gun and thought it was love, but it was really just friends. Y'all was lifting buddies. So yeah, y'all got some work to do. Y'all got a lot of work to do. Speaking of having work to do, let's get into Martell and Marceau. So these two sitting down again. Marceau says, you have been doing this to me for the last 7 years. He says he hasn't said anything about Martell and now he doesn't lie, which I know I said Marceau is very selective with his words, but I also said he's very selective with his words until it comes to Martell. So I don't know if I quite believe that you haven't told no lies or you haven't said anything about Martell in those 7 years. I think you was talking a little bit out your ass with that one. So I am going to have to side with Martell. Well, Martell, he said you need to go pray. Because he said you just made that up. He had a candy moment. So yeah, I don't know about that, Marceau. In 7 years, yeah, the way y'all be going back and forth, I'm sure you done threw some dirt on Martell's name, and I'm sure you done made up some of the stuff that you said as well. Y'all both go back and forth with each other. Y'all both do this whole catty thing. I think Martell does it way more than you do. Martell goes way further. He goes way lower. So I will give you that. Martell thought Marceau was going to come and do this sit down and apologize because he claims he didn't want to do all of the things that he did, which now Martell, you lying. Because you are in control of your own actions because you are an adult. When you're an adult, you get to make adult decisions. And you made the decision to go low. You made the decision to post the things you do and say the things that you did. So that was your own actions. You can't put that on Marceau. And you tend to do this with a lot of people. And we just had an incident with Mel coming to the light about some of the things that you did. So this is a reoccurring theme with you. So I'm not buying you trying to write that off on Marceau and this just being, hey, you went low, so I went to hell. No, you tend to do that with everybody. That's kind of your thing. You like to get a reaction out of people, and you think when people aren't giving you attention, hey, I could go low and force you to then give me attention or force you to do what I want you to do. And that's not quite how that works. That's what children do, Martell. But yeah, I think Martell be feeling guilty about his antics. And I think that's why he was hoping that Marceau would come here and be open to like apologizing and let's move forward and let's hash this out and I forgive you and let's just move forward, okay? No. Because this is what you do. You sit down, you have these talks, you hash things out, stuff be cool for about 2 to 3 episodes, and then the same thing happens again. So I'm with Marceau on that. See how both of y'all are making valid points? There are valid points to be made on both sides, but we can't force y'all to get right with each other. We just can't. Apparently everyone else has tried and it has failed. Some people just aren't meant to be friends, and some people just aren't meant to be in each other's lives. You can't take everybody with you. So it may have been fun while it lasted, but now it seems like y'all are in a place where y'all are just over each other. And that's fine. That is completely fine. But yeah, like I said, I think Martell, he be feeling guilty about the fact that he goes so low and he does the things that he does. So I think you hope that people will feel bad for you and feel sorry and make the first move because you're too immature to do that. You're too immature to call them and just say you were wrong and apologize. So you hope that, oh, we can have a sit down and maybe they'll be apologetic, or I could go off of their body language or how they're presenting themselves or how they're giving it up, and I could match that. And then we could both move forward, opposed to taking the initiative to say, hey, I messed up. I shouldn't have posted that. I shouldn't have did that. I know that was wrong. Even if you was talking down on me, even if you did talk about Ariane, I shouldn't have did that. I'm responsible for my own actions. I can't control what you do, but I can control what I do. So that wasn't cool on my behalf. Even if we're not friends, if we're not going to move forward, I can apologize for what I did. Or I should have never brought up your wife. See how easy that was, Martell? All right, y'all, and that's going to be the end of this episode. Thank you so much for tuning into my review. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave some comments below. As you know, I'm still very new to YouTube and still learning. So if you have any constructive criticism, any feedback, I'm open to looking down at your comments. And I will also be sure to leave some replies as well. I've been thanking everybody for their support for my channel. I appreciate every single one of y'all, every single like, every single comment. Thank you so much for tuning in. You don't know how much that means to me. Please also check out some of my other videos if you're into Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, or I recently went to Cirque du Soleil. I reviewed that earlier in one of my shorts. So please feel free to check out some of those and like some of those videos. And I will see you back here. We'll be back November 15th for the new episodes of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So until then, I will see you. Stay safe. Peace.